Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cooking Everything Outdoors show. Today we're making smoked herb-crusted prime rib, and I hope you like garlic. So I've had a craving for prime rib for just a little while now, kind of that aching, yearning kind of need to get a good chunk of that. I used to make these, actually let me rephrase that. When I first learned to cook prime rib, my mom, we would do a herb-crusted prime rib and just stuffed it with garlic. And I just loved that. So I'm going back to how I used to do it then. I'm going to smoke it on the grill dome, kind of give you a little bit of a beginner's tutorial on smoking prime rib, how I learned to do it when I first started out. So let's go over the ingredients and get cooking. So to start with the prime rib, I have a bone-in prime rib. It's about 5 pounds, just a hair over. Though I do encourage you to get the best cut you possibly can. It does make a difference in the long run. My butcher cut this off a full rack. It's 2 bones, and they've already removed most of the meat from the bone. I like the bone left on the prime rib. I think it adds a little bit more flavor. They've already tied this up. Last night I washed it off, patted it dry, salted it, and aggressively with salt, and then I just let it sit in the refrigerator to dry out, because you want it fairly dry. It's kind of the dry aging process, but overnight you didn't really dry age it. I just dried the exterior of the prime rib, and that's really all I'm going to do to prep this to start with. So my fresh herb coating is pretty simple. It's roughly about 4 tablespoons that I'm using here. 4 tablespoons of chopped rosemary. This is all fresh. Roughly 4 tablespoons of chopped sage. Roughly 4 tablespoons of chopped thyme. About 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. I also have about 5 or 6 garlic cloves that I've sliced into slivers. We're going to insert that into the prime rib. And then salt, more salt, and pepper. And you also need some good olive oil. Let's put together our herb paste. I'm going to start with adding our rosemary, our sage, just a little thyme, a couple good pinches of pepper, our garlic, and some more salt. A couple strong pinches there. The meat, it can handle a lot of salt. It's large, it's 5 pounds, it's got a lot of heft to it, so don't be too shy with the salt. It also tastes really good when you get a nice salt crust that you bite into. It has a little bit of saltiness to it. So I'm going to add some olive oil. Be generous with this. And we'll mix this up. And what you're looking for is a wet paste, just so it doesn't go flying all over the place when you put this on. And it's going to look something like that. You can use dry herbs with this, but I don't think it turns out as nice. If you were to be roasting this at a higher temperature than we are, we're going to be smoking at about 225. If you were to do it at a higher temperature, dry herbs would be better. They would hold up a little bit better. But these are going to work out just perfect. So now that we have that done, we're going to get a little messy here, and we're going to oil up our prime rib. Have some paper towels handy. Actually, it's probably better if you use gloves. And then we're just going to drizzle this and give it a good coating on all sides. Now, I told you that I kept this in the fridge overnight, unwrapped, to dry out. I also removed it this morning to let it come up to room temperature. It's absolutely critical that your prime rib is at room temperature in order for it to absorb the smoke and to cook properly. That looks good. So let's get some of this on here. We're just going to start packing it in there. Oh, I forgot one thing. Critical. We need to get some garlic in there. What I do is just take a sharp pointed knife, insert Little slot in there. Take some of the garlic and press it in. I love garlic with my prime rib. This is, of course, entirely optional. So we're going to get 5 or 6 cloves in there, fairly deep on each side. I like little slivers. Kind of breaks up a little bit better in the prime rib as it cooks than a big chunk. So let's flip this over and get the other side. Gently, not to knock off everything we just put on. Get the rest of our garlic going in there. Now we'll get some more herb on here. And I get a little more aggressive on the top, of course. There are dozens of ways of cooking prime rib. Since how this is a beginner's how-to, we're going to keep it fairly simple. I'm going to smoke it in my grill dome. You can smoke it in a kettle. You can smoke it on a gas grill, however you work it out. What I've done is I've got mine preheated, sitting at right about 225. I've added some pecan to mine for my smoking wood. I like to use almond also. Cherry's kind of nice. It gives it a little bit of coloring also. And we're going to cook this, well, it's probably going to take about 3.5 hours. So figure about, in smoking, about 45 minutes per pound roughly. We'll see. Could go a little less, could go a little bit longer. I am looking to get it to 125 is where I'm going to pull it. Then it's going to go up to about 130. That's going to be just over the cusp of medium rare, which is where we like it. I have a wireless thermometer that I'm going to be putting in this once I put it on the grill dome. So let's get cooking. 225. Give it a burp. Oh, that pecan smells so good. Take our prime rib. We're going to set it right there. Get my wireless probe. I do have this sitting over an aluminum pan. Got my probe in the thickest part. And it's just a matter of time. We'll check in after a couple hours. Okay, time to get emotional. So we've been at this almost 3 hours. I've been cooking it at about 250. I've pumped it up just a little bit using pecan wood, a few charcoal briquettes. This thing smells just fabulous. We just hit 125, so I'm ready to pull it and let it rest. You ready? Oh, look at that. That there is a thing of beauty. Let's pull it, let it rest. So now I'm just going to lightly tint this and let it rest for probably 20-30 minutes until it hits 130. Well, I've let it sit for about 20 minutes. It's a little cool outside, so I haven't got that much of a temperature increase, about 3 degrees. But I'm ready to cut this thing because I just want to taste it. I'm ready to eat. So we're going for it. Oh yeah. I'm just going to cut this free of the bone right there. Okay, let's get this sliced. Yeah, I'm going to remove that bone rack. That's probably going to be a treat for Bailey. This is definitely medium rare. Closer to rare for you guys that like that. Look at that. Now being at rare to medium rare here, I pulled it at 125, which is rare. I was hoping it would go up to 130. It came in just under that. If you like yours a little closer to medium, so where it's not as juicy, then just let it stay in the smoker a little bit longer. Well, there you go, my friends. That is beginner's prime rib. It's as simple as that. Very flavorful. Those herbs, I like that on that crust. Get a little bit of the pecan in there. So you get some nice smoke flavor on that crust, a little bit of the salt, nice and tender. I think what I don't eat, just like this, it's going to make me some awesome Sammys. A little bit for Bailey. Okay. Well, that's it for me. That's prime rib, about as basic and easy as you can get. Just a 2-bone rack here. Cost me about 35 bucks. I got enough for a couple meals. Took only about 3-4 hours with prep and everything else. So it's super easy. Give it a try. Fire up your Weber, your kettle, your smoker, whatever you got. Get it going. Try some prime rib. That's it. I'll see you when I see you.